That's right.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Good
Hi,
evening.
hello.
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 Mm.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, it's dark.
Hey there.
Uh, so good to see everybody. My goodness.
What do you mean? Not so much as you said. What's the matter?
All right, Danny's got his headphones on. He's ready to go.
Oops. Sorry, I muted you, I think, Glenn, by
Caroline,
accident.
come here.
Can I ask everybody to
Hang on.
mute?
I need to know how to do this camera thing. You're gonna want to stand off to the
Um,
side to show you.
I think that's, there we go. I think it was Gabe that was chatting away. All right, that looks good. So welcome everybody. I am so happy everybody could come. My goodness. Um, so yeah, we wanted to get together. We have been working away as clues came in. We've been following them and working away to kind of pull some of these pieces of Stargate together. And as they're coming in, little clues are coming up, and even today there were more and more clues coming in, and we were just pulling those pieces. So we have different Danny in the chat here, he draws out, channels in the codes and draws out the maps. We go into the actual physical here, we pull up a Google map, we expand it, and we look for that's a piece and that's a piece and it belongs over here. We need to connect the dots, we draw it out. We find those pieces, those fragments, little bit by little bit, and we figure out which Stargate does that belong to. Okay, that's 7 or 6 or 5 or wherever, and we've been pulling them. So we then realized, hold on a second, these are going, Danny drew the next map, and we were like, wow, this is actually part of the full moon activating. And that energy that comes in and activates highlights energy and beams energy across to the pyramids that were also part of Danny's map. So we concluded that that energy that's in those pyramids, we're going to be able to access it as intuitive workers. We'll be able to access that and access more knowledge. Um, some of us have already gone in and accessed different things that have been left by ourselves for ourselves in this lifetime, and so we'll continue to keep doing those journeys to go back into the hall, like go back into Stonehenge, wherever we might be needed to go to get more aspects of us back and returned for the templates that we need to help with our DNA. So, yeah, without delay, I'm going to get started. Glenn, do you have anything you want to add? This is my co-facilitator, Glenn. Him and I
Sure.
have been
Hi there.
working away.
Uh,
Awesome.
I'm Glenn, and I'm also an intuitive healer, um, a channel. I speak light language, and also a grid worker. So, one of the things that I just wanted to note is that whatever little piece that you feel, um, just go with that. That is your higher self. That is your intuition that is kicking in. So if you feel something like, oh, we need to look at this area, or I saw this particular thing, or this being came up, feel free to express that. And we can kind of put all of our little bits and pieces and things together to create this wonderful mosaic. So whatever it may be, this, maybe you see a brilliant color of fuchsia or something like that. Just go with it, see what it needs, and feel what part or piece that needs to be done and wherever we're working. This is a very fluid type thing. It is not like, and if you don't get anything, if things just don't come up, share your energy, come along for the ride.
Absolutely. There is no wrong, there's no right. We're all at different stages and phases of our awakening, and we're all unique beings, and we're all needed to hold this space at this time. So if you might hear either Glenn or I will both be speaking. Sometimes it'll be English and you can understand it. Sometimes it'll be soul language and your soul will just know, like, I feel like I need to climb a tree, or I need to jump into the water, or I need to just hold my hands here. I don't know why I need to hold my hands here, but I just need to. It just, you might not understand why some of those things are happening. And we always debrief afterwards and talk about what we were seeing, what we were feeling, why those things were happening. Even as I'm channeling and speaking, I don't necessarily understand what I'm seeing or how it fits together. I'm just like pulling in light or just whatever it is, it just is. And then at the end, you're like, oh, right, that makes sense why I was pulling in that light. Somebody else has the missing pieces to like what was happening for them, why there was light needed, and just comes together. Um, so yeah, today I was just getting ready and I could feel myself. I just kept being pulled up and out. And I was like, I felt very strong, the pulling on me and outward. And I wasn't quite sure what that was, but I felt like once I started this event, that it would make much more sense to me. Um, so yeah, it's been a good day. It's been exciting to be able to come in and be able to guide the I want to say sun, but because it looks like a sun on Danny's picture, but guide the moon's energy in and help it do what's necessary. So I'm also hoping that after that moon's energy starts flowing, it'll be a bit of a snowball effect. It will have some momentum. It'll just do its thing, pulling in into alignment more and more pieces of those grids that have fragmented, because they sort of have drifted a little bit because they weren't being used. There's no energy. Not the right amount of energy was coming through them. So if they were left dormant or just not in use in the way that we've known them to be used, then they just kind of just sort of meandered wherever they wanted to go. And so we have found different pieces in some of the strangest of places and had to really show them where they needed to go and line them back up again. Yeah, so I'm excited to pull them together and get the power turned on and see what ends up happening. So yeah, Glenn, I was wondering if you could open it up and guide us with some breathing.
I would love to. So everybody just get comfortable, do your little wiggle, your little shimmy, and just close your eyes. And just take a deep breath from the very bottom of your belly and slowly bring it up right up to the very top of your heart. And hold it right there for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Release. We'll do that one more time. Nice deep breath from the bottom of your belly. Bring it right up till you feel it at the very top of your heart. And hold it there. 1, 2, 3. Release. We'll do that one more time. Nice deep cleansing breath in. Hold it right at the very top of your heart. 2, 3. Release. This time you're going to draw in some golden light from the ground all the way up from your ankles to your thighs, to your torso, to your heart. Just visualize that golden energy wrapping around you like a ribbon in unconditional love. And just keep breathing and allow that golden energy to continue to fill every cell, every space, every fragment of your being as it continues to grow up and climb in circular motion in a vortex around your heart and around your body. Just continue breathing nice and slow. And now push that energy up, all the way up to your throat, past your throat chakra. Bring it past your pineal. Bring it past your third eye. Bring it up to the very top of your crown. Let it build. Let it build. Let it build. Like a shooting star, suited right up to infinity to source. And just breathe that in. That connection to divine love, unconditional love. And when you're ready, you can come back to Natalie.
So you're going to hear my language as I hold that space and set that space. Kokoakai, moeakai, shukoeakai, hikietai, moeakai, shikietai, shukoyakietai, tukoyakinaiakai, dayakietai, shikianaiakietai, moeakai, nananai, hikai. Hoyak moyakai, tadaya kite moyahaya hite hihihietai, yokoya kinaya kite moyakai, dayakia kite no no naya kite shukukoi manayakai, tadadadai, yetokoyakai, tadadadoi, shukumanayakai, nayakite. So the language is just protecting that beam of light that we just placed up to source and created that connection to koyaki kita, hikikita, hihihiya, tutututoi, shukukoya boyate. Yakoyatatai, Yakitai, Sokoyatai, Kumoyakai Naya, Kite, Shikumai, Kitai, Tokoya Kite, Shukoya. So just expanding light, Sokoya. So if you see yourself, you'll have almost a bubble-like container around you, and the energy that you shot up to source is now protected in a sheath of energetic protective layer or barrier. And your own body that's inside this bubble is expanding the light outward, as if you're a filament almost in like a light bulb. You're super bright inside and the light expands outward.
Ora kanayate shukunoyoto ete seke unnoyatata ayate enano unoyotata kayananetea. Shanayatata ko uyatare anaya sata anakayata eke neoto. Esetete ayato shunayatata akanayata uka anaya. Eteyaka sanayatato uko anayata ushoyakata eya anaya sananataya.
So it looks like we're actually going to be looking from the angle of the moon as if we were on the moon. And we're going to watch that energy shine down onto Earth. And make sure once we're shining our energy from the moon down to Earth that it kind of has to pass through almost like a keyhole. It's a little bigger than a keyhole, obviously, but that's the gate. And we're just looking to make the moon energy shine through that gate. So I'm going to take us back up to the moon. So as you look down below you, you can see almost like a big round circular bright white light. Hyukoya, kietai, hikietai, hykyu. So you can stand wherever you feel the best in standing. Sukoya, kietai, shipmoyakai, moya, hietai, shikoi. There's no right, there's no wrong. As long as you can see the rays coming off of the moon. So we're kind of almost, the way I'm standing is a bit behind the moon, watching almost as if the moon is not three-dimensional at all. It is almost just like I'm holding a flashlight and the moon's beam is in front of me. Sequoia kieta, hiakia kieta kokoina hieta, shikokoimana yahai. Setitea te kieta poea kiana hiete, hukoina hieta. So they're just letting me know that you're going to hear two languages. So there's my English version of what's happening, but then there's my soul speak language version coming out as well. So koya kietai hikai hyukokoi. So if you don't understand my light language, to not worry. It's okay, moit. Okay, so you're standing behind or wherever you're choosing to stand, you're focusing on the moon's rays, and now you're going to look towards earth, and when you look through the rays, you will see the hole, which is the stargate. So we're just going to direct those energetic rays to sui Satadaya kikiataya no 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 Manaya tatataya kaya kita kokokadaya naya hiakiat tatamoe hai hiakiatai nananai hiatai hiukoyatai nananai hiakiatai sukoya hai hiate shikoya kai moe hai hiata tatatai hiukoya kiatai kikitai hiukoya kai popoya hiate hiukoya. So I see it streaming onto the other side of the Stargate. It looks like it's branching into maybe 10 or 12 arcs of light. So each ray that's coming out of that Stargate opening is expanding its light energy to the appropriate array, appropriate Stargate. So the language is just naming them all. Hiatai, nananai, hiatai, kumanai, nai, tutututoi, hiatai, nananai, hitokoi, tikite, moi, hayaki. There's three more left. Tukoi, nanai, hiatai, kikianai, poyakai, nai, tatadai, hite, kikiato, kumanai, sayanai, hyukoyate, shikukoi, nai, tatadai, hyukomanai. Two more. Puekete, kikiakiata, kikikai, hikukoya, kikiatai, nononai, hikiatai, rukoyanai, hikiatai, mananai, hikiatai, hiom, poyakai, te, shukotai, kukoi, manayakai, chichukoyate, tadadai, kikitai, moit, dai, kitai, moyate. That one looks like it has a ray that is connected to it with a loose end that is flying around like a thread, like it's not sure what to connect to. So if somebody can see where that loose thread is supposed to go and anchor it to wherever it's supposed to be. You'll just know this is what's supposed to happen and this is where it's supposed to go. Koyate, I found it. Tutodoya kikiete, shikyu kikitai moya kiete, toya kiete moya hatai shikoyate, kodai kukoyate. And then there's one more left. Toya kietai, sukoyanai, boyakanite, sukoyate, toya kietai moya kai, shikadai, moya, toya kiete, kukoyate. So they all create a system, and they all look connected to the moon's energetics. Sukoya Kite. They're telling me the system's complete. Tutukoya Kite. So I'm just going to thank them for their guidance. Sukoya Nayakai Shukumanite. So you can I'm going to hold this space so you can do whatever work you feel that you need to do while you're here. That might be placing your hands on certain places. That might be guiding light to certain other places. I feel like somebody is working in the water and setting up, looks like lines. So there is a gate that is coming in under the water. Sukoya kietai moya kaya kietai kukukanai hia kietai kukumanai hia kietai. Sutodoya kietai moya hayatai hia kietai. Sukoya titadaya hietai moya hia kietai. Shukoya kietai. Huhuhoyate. Kietai kiekai pohoya dai moya hia kietai. Nananaya hietai. Shukoya kai hietai. Shukoya kai hiekai. So it's just spiraling and opening to Koya Kietai, Kietai, and I Hietai, Kietai, Kietai, Hyoko Kite, Hietatatai, Hiekai, Hyoko Kote, Hiekai, Hiekai, Moya Kite, Foya Kite. So its energy has opened and it looks like a dome of energy to me. To Koya, Tai, Hai, and I Hietai, Hietai, Kietai, Huhoi, and I Kite. So I'm just guiding with my words, telling it how it needs to look or where it needs to go. Toya hiatai, 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 koko, hiatai, moya, hiatai, kikitai, nananai, hiatai, hukoya, hi, moya, patadai, hiat, moya, hiatai, hiakito, kuka, hiak, moya, hiatai. So it seems like it's turning a bit of a magenta purple. So it's looking for its gatekeeper to come forward and sit on top and just take its place to oversee this spot. So my words are explaining the gatekeeper role to the individual. So they acknowledged, they understood, and I thanked them. So they are staying there to ensure that stays open and to ensure the beam of energy continues to move in the direction to assist the next Stargate system. So it now looks like it's moving waiting. So it is transmitting almost a crystallized, I don't know, substance. It's like a blue, chunky crystal type energy. It looks like liquid. And it is almost as if it's moving through a clear pipe. And it is moving northward. So it is moving upward to Koyakite. So it's heading towards the North Pole is where it wants to go. It's, I don't think, able to get there to Koyakite. Yeah, they're confirming it's not, it's a part of a process and it's on Tokayate, Kikite, Moyet. So it's just, this is the first piece of the process of it heading to where it needs to go. Sakai Kite. Because there is almost like there's a big ley line in the way that is Hayakiete Shukumanai. Energetically just not allowing it to flow past Hayate. Some of those systems will come online in the next coming days. Sukoyakite to Poyate. So I'm going to keep holding the space. There's more work for you guys to do. And I'll watch as you guys work your pieces to Toyakite.
Ashanakayat unohko ushakanayatai. Unakayat to uno yoshotoyota anayata. Ke enayata to uno yoshonarakatarata kena. Tono ushonayata takana ayaya. Te eya na uno kognayata ta oyat setea. Uku uno aisharayata ta. Ete omono sayata. Eke no yototoku uaya. Te enaya satata eako oa.
Shukayate. So just showing me the sand. Toyakite, Kyotai, Kyotai, Moya, Kyotai, Shikitai, Hikitai, Sumoya Kai, Sukoyate. So this sand is absorbing the energy that we brought through. So I can see it kind of send out almost like a shockwave ripple as it now has a holds a different frequency. So there's somebody working with fish or on fish or helping the fish, but there's some aquatic life that are coming forward. So there is a dolphin trying to tell me something. So the dolphin just looks like he's playing, but he's actually working. He's working to change the energetic space. He's creating grid, a very like I look at it and I think it's small, but I think it's probably quite large. He's making a square, and in that square, he's changing. He's putting like small cubes into this square block. So this is a block of energy that's going to shift the frequency of the water systems. Looks like he's just finishing his task, and his block has turned into a big square block of vibrant aqua white light. And that block has now created an energetic shield around Gaia. Sayatayakitai moyakai, muhite shine noyakai, wayateyakitai kaya kitomoy. Zanamoyatai kai night, hoyanayate, nai hitai nai hitokumanai, hite shui. Moyate, nai. So the dolphin was talking to the shield. He is the keeper of that shield. And he was just letting me know that that's his role. I think we're finished. So I'll let anybody that needs to move their hands or do any of those things, I'll stay here for a couple more seconds. And you can start to take some deep cleansing breaths as you start to exit from this place. All right. A few more minutes.
Thank you, everybody, for your participation.
Yay. So you were basically, I usually, after I speak a lot of light language and do a lot of this kind of work, I'll usually talk about what I was seeing, but I was doing that as I went through the process. Did anybody see or feel the things that I was talking about? Glenn, what were you doing while I was sort of doing my own thing over there?
Whereas you were shining the light and standing from the perspective of behind, I was taking the moon itself and moving it as a mirror. So I took
Okay.
a direct ray of light, and we had talked about that triangle earlier today.
Mm-hmm.
So what came to me immediately is that is where I need to shine this light. And as I did, the triangle became a prism, because we
Mm-hmm.
said it was originally 45 degrees, but it was ended up being 52 degrees. So 52 degrees is a prism that splits light into each individual ray. So rays split and hit different parts of the planet in that area that we were working. So it was directly activating, kind of like almost like a laser focus.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that I had posted some of that stuff in one of our chats about like, does this number and this number and this number mean anything to anybody? And a 52, I think, did come up, was the number.
Yeah,
So,
52.
okay.
51.84 is the angle of the Great Pyramid of Giza. So it's always referred to as
Mm,
52 degrees. And when sunlight hits a raindrop that's falling or a water droplet, that's at 52 degrees. That's what creates a rainbow. That's a prism effect.
mm, okay. Beautiful. Yeah, I thought we were going to land right on the moon, but as I kept trying to like land on it, I was like, no, it's more like I'm holding a flashlight and I'm like standing behind it as you in the front were doing this for the flashlight bar. And I'm like, I could kind of feel that there was this like section that it had to shine its light through. But then they told me to put my hands up like this so I could see almost as if I was looking through the prism, like to get it to go through. Um, and then I had this strange feeling about my light language. Because sometimes when I speak light language and it's energetically charged, I hear it in my head, but it doesn't come out the same way that I'm hearing it. And it gets kind of like I have to relax more into it and stop listening to one or the other. It's like two people talking at the same time. My light language is coming out, but somebody's actually got English as well. And I'm like, but that didn't happen today. The English and light language alternated. And I was like, oh, this is so much better and easier rather than them doing it at the same time. A lot of times when I think it's going to come out in English, it actually just comes out in light language and it doesn't, it's not very effective, at least for me. Um, so this was much better that it allowed the flow of things. It was easier. Um, and then I thought, okay, all the systems, like, so once we got through the keyhole, I saw the rays of light separating and arcing out to the different anchor spots that they needed. And they were all like, blah, 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 blah. I was naming them all off. And it was like attendance. And they were like, here. And then it would anchor to that spot. And they would be like, blah, 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 blah. And then it'd be again here. And it would anchor until I got to that one. And I was like, what's wrong with you? Come on, let's go. Your name's being called. You're not saying here. What's the problem? And it shined such a white light, but only a dot. I could see its arc of energy coming and it shined its light white light, and then it shot this like strand of, it looked like a string. I'm like, that's not right. And then I realized that actually has to be anchored in somewhere else, probably by somebody else, because it wasn't a me thing. Um, and so then I could feel when that anchored, it had to go around and onto the other side of Gaia. It did that, found its point, and then it felt good again. So then I was like, okay, I think we're done. But then I started feeling horizontal lines coming through. And I was like, what is the, and then I remembered, oh, these horizontal lines are underwater. And that's the underwater spiral that was there. So I was like, it's this opening. Usually they get me to open and move my hands like this, but they wanted me to keep my hands stuck like this. And so you saw that expanding, saw that opening, I was not expecting the kind of magenta dome. That was kind of unexpected for me that that started happening. It was first white and then it turned magenta, and I was like, okay. And then I got the impression like this belongs to somebody. This is not a me thing. This is somebody else's thing. This, and whoever it was went and stood by that, and they knew it was their thing, and they took their oath and became the keeper. And they were like, it was all the system, and it was good. And then that allowed the crystal pipe to open up and start flowing the chunks of crystal. They were like really big chunks of crystals. It's not the fine crystalline energy that we're used to breathing in. It's just like big hunks of crystal stuff that was coming through it. Um, and at first I was like, "Wow, it's just energy," but then I was like, "No, it's like it's moving. It's slow moving. It's like liquid." And I was like, "Okay, cool." Um,
Yeah, as you were
and then
doing, I got that I needed to create a blue mist around the planet to hold in whatever energies that we were working with, or whatever the crystals were. So I created this
yeah,
blue, like foggy mist around the planet and just held it in check while things were doing whatever they were doing.
yeah. Because then when you did that, I saw sand, like white sand, and I was like, "Oh, what's with the white sand?" But then it looked like a shock wave, like it had this ripple through. Uh, it's almost like it opened and it and did that through the sand, and it wasn't normal sand. It was like a white type of sand, a very light colored sand. I was like, interesting. But I don't think that could come in and activate without the blue mist. It's like it could work under the disguise of being like it needed to be somewhat hidden uh, from just being in the eye. Hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah. So does anybody want to unmute and talk about what they saw?
Yes. I, because I was like, oh my God. I know when you were moving the energy stream from the moon,
Mhm.
I was like helping add this protection, and then like I saw it come through the Stargate near the area I'm at, like near
Mhm.
the Grand Canyon, and then another one near Bell Rock. And
Ooh,
then I know as I was like being shown these like really intricate symbols, I was drawing them out. And that's when you started speaking about the dolphin drawing out these symbols. And I know before that too, it's like I was sitting there pulling this energy up, pulling this energy up, pulling this energy up, and then that's when you mentioned the magenta dome came up, or the dome came up, and then it
Oh,
turned. Yeah, but
oh, fun.
yeah.
That dolphin was something else. He was like telling me to come out there, and I was like, okay, are you gonna show me something? Are you trying to tell me something? Like, and then he just started drawing this square, and he's like, I'm gonna make a grid for us. And then he started putting all these cubes inside it, and I was like, like,
I
how
know.
deep
Oh, the
is this?
cubes. Yes, the cubes too. Because like first I saw the triangle, and then
Uh-huh.
underneath the triangle was a square. And that's when you mentioned the
Mhm.
square, and then there was like dots in the square, and then you started mentioning the dots in there. And it's like I was just sitting here drawing it out.
Oh my
So that was
goodness.
just really interesting. Yeah.
So cool.
Mm,
So connected.
yes, definitely.
Yeah. Anybody else want to share? Or you can share in the chat too if you want, whatever's easiest. Um, yeah, so I feel like our task we were given is been completed. Um, it feels really good, yeah. And so we hopefully will start to feel a little bit lighter. We'll hopefully have a lot less pressure in our third eye, pineal gland area, because I think many of us have been sort of holding on to some of this and waiting for that energetic light to come through um, and take over and start the snowball effect. Martika, you can unmute if you want.
Hey, how you going?
Good.
Beautiful, really, really beautiful, Natalie. I just wanted to share specifically on the dolphin. Jasmine and I recently used a fish spine in something that we did for the Galactic Center conjunction. So I felt a lot of that energy, and what I felt like the dolphin was communicating was because they've been on a few topics that I've had just in casual conversation over the last few days, but there's a lot about the malleability of the spine and ensuring that that movement happens in kind of like a yin yoga practice. And as you were speaking, I had a baby grasshopper on the lens. I was just sharing the mango tree, and a little dancing baby grasshopper was kind of bringing that through as well with the movement of the spine. So I feel like that was the and the prism and the cubes being just our body being having that kind of lightness that the dolphin does, the joy, the play, but that malleable spine energy and keeping that moving. So that just felt like the message for the dolphin. It was really beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, he was doing that. He was doing this, and then I was like, is he just gonna play? Does he want to tell me something? And he was just doing his dance, and I was like, okay, good. He just doing his thing, and then yeah, he just started drawing out whatever he was drawing and working away. I was like, okay, awesome. As long as I don't have to do it, like I'm just gonna watch you do it. That's good. It felt really good. Um, so yeah, thank you for whoever. Did anybody feel like they were the being of that purple magenta Stargate that came in? Okay, that's interesting because I'll probably get whoever it was later. Uh, so yeah, beautiful job, and thank you so much for coming and for holding the space and for just spending time in this way to do the work that's needed. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. So, well, from time to time, we'll have these, they're very spontaneous. We don't really know when they come up. They just come to our awareness, and we were like, okay, well, this needs to happen. So, we'll just keep sending the invites out, and you guys can hop on if you're available. And yeah.
Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you, and we appreciate your energy and everything that you bring to the table. So thank you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, everybody. Much love to all of you. And yeah, I'll hope to see you guys all soon. Have a wonderful and blessed night. Take care.
Bye. Y'all have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye bye.